Thokozani Bagwantu Ninjani. So I am here to talk about what it is to be a nine ether being. People keep asking me, Coco, what is a nine ether being? You keep saying this term nine ether. You call us nine ether beings. Well, let me explain a little bit what a nine ether being is. So being a nine ether being is basically we're talking about a cosmic interpretation. And basically, when we talk about the ether, we are talking about a place or a space out in the cosmos that is composed of nine different kinds of gases. And so remember, before you become a human being, you're a spirit first, right? You're a spirit before you become human. And therefore, what is happening with you is you are basically formed from the ethers. This is the place where hello everyone. I see that there are people here. There are not supposed to be any people here. How are you guys here? Why are you here? Yo, I'm supposed to be recording this for YouTube. Nina, how did you get on here? How are you guys even here? I'm supposed to be recording for YouTube. Ah! Kati, don't you guys sleep? Why aren't you sleeping? You should be sleeping. So basically, guys, I'm going to have to start again. See what you made me do. I'm supposed to be professional about this. Anyway, this is going to be uploaded onto YouTube. Of course, it's going to be edited now that you are here and I have made a big mess of everything. But basically, Thokozani, Ninjani. I'm not even going to read comments. I'm just going to go through my teaching. So, Ninjani, Thokozani Bagwantu. So basically, I'm here to talk about what it is to be a nine ether being. I've had a lot of questions from people asking what does it mean to be a nine ether being? And so I really want to explain it step by step so that everybody understands, because this is really the basis of understanding oneself as Umuntu, is understanding what does a nine ether being mean and what is a nine ether being, and therefore with that knowledge, how do you empower yourself on your daily walk, right? It's one thing to know that you're a nine ether being, but really in essence, what does it mean, right? You need to know what does that imply if you're a nine ether being, and therefore, what are things you should be doing or not doing as a nine ether being? Because being nine ether makes us very different from every other two-legged species that's out there. We are vastly different. And so I'm going to start again to explain but I'm going to start. So when we talk about being a nine ether being, look at the number 9 first and foremost. The number 9 is the number of infinity. It is the number of completion. The number 9 is the number that is the 12 principles that made your physical being. The 12 principles that came together to fashion your physical being. Right? Then remember, you spent 9 months in your mother's womb, 9 being the number of completion of your gestation in your mother's womb. So the number 9 is a very sacred number. It's a universal number of completion. So when you're a nine ether being, just taking it on a very simple level, it means you are a complete being. It means, remember, it's the number of infinity. It means you're an infinite being. Isn't that powerful? Now, let's take a look at it. Let's break it down some more. When we talk of the ethers, right, many of you have heard of the 4 elements, right? We have fire, we have water, we have air, and we have earth. But there's one other that they call the 5th element, and that is the ether. The ether is the place from which you came. Therefore, as a human body, you also have what we call an etheric body. The etheric body is the radiation or reflection out from you of your spirit body. And so your etheric body is the closest layer to your skin. It is a luminous body. It looks like light radiating off of you. And the quality of your ethereal body is really dependent on how your emotional or mental state is and how your physical state is. So if you're ill, if you're depressed, if you're not happy, that ethereal body is somewhat murky, and therefore your aura, which radiates out of your etheric body, is also murky and degraded. Does that make sense? So now, when we talk about being nine ether, we're talking about the fact that you are nature and nature is you. How do we know this? There is a consistent pattern called the Fibonacci pattern. It is a geometric pattern that is found in everything in nature. It is the pattern that you see when you get your fingerprint done. It's a coil, a spiral coil that's going round and round. It is the same spiral coil that C4 hair, our hair as nine ether beings, has that same spiral. If you pull out a hair and look at it, you'll see that it has a spiral shape. Then if you look, so that's that. If you look in nature, you'll see that there is this constant spiral shape in nature. And this spiral shape sometimes forms certain geometric shapes, other geometric shapes. I will have diagrams on the video to show you guys this when it goes up on YouTube. But what I'm trying to say to you is the same way nature is fashioned is the same way you as a nine ether being are fashioned. So when you look at that spiral of your hair, it is very different from a six ether being that doesn't have that Fibonacci spiral in their hair. Their hair is somewhat straight. Very, very, very different look. Right? If you look at the top of the head of a bald nine ether being, you will see that spiral coiling. But if you look at a six ether being, it doesn't exist there. So this is very powerful evidence of your divinity, Bhagwantu. This is very powerful evidence of how divine you are and how therefore you should really view yourself. You are very vastly different from all others out there. And this is just science. I am not making this up. I'm not exaggerating. It is what it is. So understanding that, you ask yourself, so this geometric shape, where does it come from? And I will do a separate teaching where I talk about how life is formed and where this geometric shape comes from. But for purposes of this video, let's talk a little bit about, as a nine ether being, what are other components that mark you out as a nine ether being? I've talked about your hair, the spiral coil. Your melanin is very much. Your melanin is a communication tool, and there'll be a separate teaching strictly on melanin and the science of melanin. But your melanin is a part of your nine etherness. It's called, the melanin we have is called neuromelanin. And this melanin is really, really important. It's not just a pigment in your skin. It is literally your divinity. It is the essence of who you are as a divine being. Because when you look up in the cosmos, you see a blackness against which the stars are. That blackness, that darkness, which Western scientists call dark matter and nothingness, is actually melanin. It's carbon. So you have the ability to commune directly with the cosmos through melanin, this communication molecule. Melanin is very important in the function of your brain. It is very important in the function of your limbs. It is very important. Every single part of you as a nine ether being has melanin in it. Does that make sense? Your very pineal gland is functional through melanin receptors and through melanin, right? So it's important to understand this, especially for those who are out there bleaching your skin. This is not a good thing to do. I know that people are trying to tone out their skin. Is one thing to try and get an even skin tone. It's quite another to start taking pills that prevent the manufacture of melanin within your cells, not only are you going to look really strange with zero pigment, because you end up with zero pigment, but you are literally taking out of your body a molecule that is critical to every aspect of your existence and your health. If you ask those with no melanin, those created without melanin, those who do not have the ability to produce melanin, they will tell you the diseases they are prone to because of lack of melanin. Chemistry is the study of chem, coming from chemu, was spelled with a K, coming from chemu, which is dark. So the study of chemistry is literally a study of melanin for the most part. You are the most studied creature on the planet, 9 ether being, because of melanin, your divine molecule, right? So very important to understand. Understand also the C4 coil of our hair, that spiral coil. Our hair as 9 ether beings is an extension of your brain cells. It is an extension of your neurons, extending outwards like antenna to pick up codes and messages from the cosmos. I'll tell you a story. When I went to initiation school, I wanted to cut my hair. I wanted to shave my head. And I was told, do not do that, because your hair is your connection tool. You need your hair for your dreams to be lucid, for you to get the messages that you need while you're going through initiation, to get the instructions you need. Do not cut your hair. So that's another aspect to understand about our hair. Your hair is literally your God seed. This hair, when it's coiling upward, whether it be in locks, whether it be in an afro, as long as it's in natural coiled state, your hair is communing with the divine, is communing with the cosmos. You have the ability to get codes and download information. Remember, I said your hair is like antennae to the neurons of your brain. Your hair can receive information and pass it to your brain, where your brain can decode it and process it and come up with the true meaning of what it is you've received from the cosmos. Does this make sense? So I really hope I've explained to you guys what it is to be a 9 ether being. Where does this term 9 ether come from? I think I've explained as well that it is a scientific term coming from the number 9, which is the number of completion, infinity. The ethers, I've explained what the ethers are. This is a layer within the spiritual realm or spiritual state, whereby the spirits literally come and are fashioned into the human body in your mother's womb. This is also the place where trees and everything else is conceived from this ethereal layer. So when you're a 9 ether being, you're essentially as old as the cosmos. You're as old as nature itself. You're as old as the universe. I hope this sinks in, 9 ether beings. I hope you take this and you sit with it and you think about it for a minute and what it actually means to be a 9 ether being. On that note, despite the fact that I would not have visitors, thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, you can catch this video. It's going to be uploaded onto YouTube. Mas Togozeni. I love you guys so much. Togozan.